Hello everyone! Welcome back to our Math 8 YouTube channel. At kung di ka pa nakakapag-subscribe, mag-subscribe na para updated kayo sa ating weekly lesson. And for today's video, we are going to discuss the lesson for the third quarter, week number 3, which is all about the triangle congruence. Are you ready to learn? Let's go! Our most essential learning competency, we are going to illustrate triangle congruence based on M8 GE 3D 1. And for our objectives, at the end of the lesson, the students should be able to define triangle congruence, identify the corresponding parts of a triangle congruence, and illustrate triangle congruence. Okay, let us start with a learning task. So for learning task 1, clone me. You know what's the meaning of cloning? You're copying the image, the figure. So to do the activity, you're just going to follow the steps below. Materials needed: piece of paper, scissor, pencil, and ruler. Okay, for step 1, you're going to fold the paper into halves. Draw a triangle in one side of the paper. Cut the triangles and name the two triangles. The first triangle, named it as triangle ABC, while the second triangle is triangle DEF. And finally, paste the two triangles in a sheet of paper. That is our learning task number 1. Now, let us define, or how are we going to say that the two triangles are congruent? Two triangles are said to be congruent. So we have here the symbol for congruent. Ito po yung symbol natin sa congruent. Na? Tandaan niyang symbol na yan. That is very important. Two triangles are said to be congruent if their vertices can be paired so that corresponding sides are congruent and corresponding angles are congruent. If they have the same size and shape, and when all corresponding sides and interior angles are congruent, then the two triangles are said to be congruent. So, yung dalawang triangle daw ay congruent, katulad nung ginupit nyo sa learning task number 1, kapag yung mga vertices, ito yung mga endpoints, ay pwedeng pagtapatin. At yung mga magkakatapat na sides at magkakatapat na interior angles ay congruent. Okay. So, take a look at the triangles that you cut out and paste on your paper. And these two triangles. So, parang yung learning task number 1, para lang meron kayong ma-visualize na gawa nyo na. No? And ito yung ating figure. So, take a look at the figure. We have triangle ABC and triangle DEF. They are congruent. Now, what did you observe regarding the two triangles? Yes, meron siyang mga markings. Ang tawag dito sa mga guhit-guhit na to, at saka yung curved line na nakikita nyo sa bawat angle, ang tawag doon ay markings. So, sa inyong learning task number 1, sa dalawang triangle na ginawa nyo na ipinaste sa inyong notebook, lagyan ng marka yung mga corresponding parts. So, what are the corresponding vertices in our two triangles? So, again, when we say vertices, ito yung mga endpoints, yung mga dulo, yung tip, tuktok, kumbaga, no? So, this vertex A, nagko-correspond siya sa vertex D. Anong ibig sabihin nung nagko-correspond? Ito yung katapat niya nung ginugupit niyo yung dalawang triangle. Ito yung katapat. Vertex C, ito, nagko-correspond naman siya sa vertex F. Yun yung katapat niya. And vertex B corresponds to E. So, they are what we call corresponding vertices. Now, let us have the congruent angles. So, congruent angles, how do we identify na congruent yung angles na yon? So, base sa markings. Tingnan natin yung angle A. Ito yung angle A. Mayroon siyang isang mark. So, yung kanyang ka-pair, na corresponding angle is angle D, which is angle A is congruent to angle D. Parehas lang sila, no? The same measure. Next, angle C. Look at angle C. May dalawa tayong curve line dito. Yung mark natin, dalawa. So, obviously, angle F yung kanyang corresponding. And angle C is congruent to angle F. Finally, angle B. So, ilang mark yung nakikita nyo sa angle B? 3. So, yung kanyang ka-pair at ka-congruent angle is angle E. So, meron din siyang 3 markings. So, these are the 3 congruent angles based on the markings. Next, congruent sides. So, ano naman yung side? Ito yung mga, ito yung line segment na bumubuo dun sa triangles. So, kung mapapansin nyo, may guhit-guhit, no? So, yun yung markings sa side. So, first, we have side BC. Ito yung side BC. Ilang mark kayo nakikita nyo? Isang guhit, no? So, ang kanyang ka-congruent side is side EF. Since ito yung may isang mark dun sa ating second triangle. Next, side AB. So, itong side AB may dalawang marks. So, ang kanyang ka-pair at ka-congruent ay side DE. And finally, side AC, ilang mark yan? 3. So, ang kanyang ka-congruent ay side DF. Ayan, 3 rin. So, sa inyong notebook, yung idinikit yung dalawang triangle, pagpapasa, dapat may markings na rin at na-identify nyo na rin yung kanyang corresponding vertices, congruent angles, at congruent sides. So, again, these two triangle ABC, is congruent to triangle DEF because their vertices can be paired, they have congruent angles, and they have congruent sides. Okay, so before we move on to our two triangles that are congruent, let us first identify the most important definition when it comes to the different postulates that we may encounter in this lesson. So, kailangan ma-identify muna natin ito kasi napaka-importante nitong dalawa na to doon sa mga pag-aaralan nating postulates sa mga susunod na pagkakataon. So, we have here included angle at included side. Okay, study the figure, triangle SON. Okay, so isang triangle lang yan kasi doon lang magbe-base yung ating definition. So, ano ba ang included angle? Included angle is the angle between two sides of a triangle. Ito daw yung nasa pagitan na ito yung angle na nasa pagitan ng dalawang side ng triangle. Okay, let us have an example. Okay, angle S is included angle between sides SN and SO. Hanapin natin, alin ba yung mga sides na yon? Okay, etong yellow na line na yan, ito yung side SN, at ito naman yung side SO. So, ano yung angle na nasa pagitan ni side SO at side SN? Tingnan natin. Yan. Yung angle S na yan is an included angle of side SN at side SO. Ito yung nasa pagitan nitong dalawang side na to. Ang tawag sa angle na yan ay included angle ni side SO at ni side SN. Another example. Angle O is included angle between sides OS and ON. So, si angle O naman ay included angle ng anong dalawang side? Yun lagi yung tanong, no? The two sides na nasa, na included yung angle O. So, that is side OS, eto yun. Yan, color red na yan, no? OS and ON. So, itong side OS na to at side ON, ang angle na included niyan ay angle O. Etong angle na to. No? So, angle O is an included angle of side OS and side ON. Next, example, angle N is included angle between side NS, ito yung side NS, ayan, naging color blue na, no? And side NO, ito naman yung NO. So, yung angle na included niyang dalawang side na yan ay angle N, ayan. Okay? So, aside from this figure, no, kahit walang figure, pwede nating ma-identify yung included angle given yung two side. So take a look at this one. Angle S is included between side SN tsaka SO. So anong napansin nyo dun sa dalawang side? Ano yung common na letter? Very good, letter S. Ibig sabihin, since common ang letter S, ibig sabihin yan, yung letter S ang nasa gitna ng dalawang side na yan. That's why ang included angle natin is angle S. Another one, angle O. Ito ay included ni side OS at ON. OS, ON. What is the common letter? Very good, O. Therefore, we can say that the angle which is included is angle O. And finally, NS and NO. So these two sides, the common letter is N. So here, we can say that the included angle of these two sides is angle N. So kahit walang figure, pwede nating ma-identify. Just look at the given sides. Okay. Let us have included side. Ito naman yung side ang ating pag-uusapan. So included side is the common. That is common side to two angles of a triangle. Ito naman yung side na common. So, tingnan natin. Example. Okay. Side SO is included side between angle S and angle O. So, yung side SO daw ay included naman between angle S. Asan ba dyan ang angle S? Ayan ang angle S. Ito naman ang angle O. Yung side na nasa pagitan ay side SO. Na? So, ang reference natin dito ay dalawang angle. No? Next, side ON. So, nasan ang side ON? Ayan, side ON is included between angle O, etong angle na to, tsaka angle N. So, ano yung side na nasa pagitan ng dalawang angle na yan? Side ON. Next, side SN is included side between angle S, eto yung angle S natin, and angle N, eto naman. So, ano yung side na nasa common dito sa dalawang angle na to? So, that is side SN. So, ang tawag doon ay included side. Now, another thing, kahit wala tayong figure, we can identify included side. How? So, take a look at the name of the two angles, angle S and angle O. If we combine these two letters, S and O, so meaning, the common side between these two angles is side SO. No? We are just combining the names of the two angles. Like this one, angle O and angle N. Combine ON, so that is side ON, the common. Angle S and angle N. So we just combine SN, that is the included side. Side SN. So that is all about included angle and included side. Alright. So we are done with triangle congruence, or how are we going to identify that the two triangles are congruent. And based on our examples, I hope you learned a lot. So for our learning task number 2, complete the triangle congruence. So we have here the figure. Take a look at the figure. And we have the markings. Na? So based on the figure, meron tayong dalawang triangle. Triangle ABE and triangle DCE. Based on the figure, you're going to complete the triangle congruence. Number 1, angle A, so this is our angle A, is congruent to blank. So, just complete the statement. So, what will be your answer here? Next, blank is congruent to angle C. This is our angle C. So, saan naman siya congruent? Again, dahil may markings tayo, pwede nyo hanapin yung kaparehas na markings. Next, number 3, angle AEB. AEB. So, ito yung angle AEB na to. Ito. Ayan. Is congruent to blank. Ayan. So, sa number 3, pwede nyo i-apply yung vertical angle theorem para mahanap nyo yung kanyang kaparehas. Next, congruent side. Side BE. Ito yung side BE. Ayan, may isang marka. Congruent to blank. Next, number 5, blank is congruent to side CD. So, ito yung CD, may dalawang marka. Di ba? Next, number 6, side AE. AE. So, ito yung AE, may tatlong mark. Congruent to blank. So, ano kaya yung blank na yan? Alright? Next, number 7, corresponding vertices. Ano yung ka-pair nitong mga vertex natin? Vertex A, ito yung A na to, corresponds to blank. So, saan yung katapat niya? Next, number 8, blank corresponds to vertex C. Number 9, vertex E corresponds to blank. Ayan. So, since they have corresponding vertices, they have congruent angles and congruent side. Number 10, therefore, triangle ABE is congruent to what triangle? No? Nabanggit ko yung kanina bago tayo mag-umpisa ng learning task number 2. Okay, so you're going to write your answer on a sheet of paper. Alright, so let us have the next learning task. Learning task number 3. Using the given below, you are going to draw the congruent triangles by putting the names and identical markings on the congruent parts of the triangle. So, in this learning task, kayo yung gagawa ng dalawang triangle. So, bahala kayo kung anong klaseng triangle yan, kung isosceles, right, or any basta triangle yan na congruent. And then, you are going to put the name and the corresponding identical markings based on the given. So, what are the given? So, these are the corresponding vertices. M corresponds to K, T corresponds to L, B corresponds to X. So, dito pa lang alam mo na kung ano yung pangalan ng dalawang triangle. Now, ito yung lalagay nyo ng markings. Isang mark sa angle M congruent to angle K. Isang mark lang ang ilalagay niya. Dalawang mark sa angle T congruent to angle L. Dalawang markings. And tatlong mark sa angle B is congruent to angle X. Alright? Congruent side. Isang guhit, side MT is congruent to side KL. Dalawang mark, side TB is congruent to side LX. At tatlong mark, side MB is congruent to side KX. So, in this situation, we can simply prove that triangle MTB is congruent to triangle KLX. Again, ang makikita natin sa learning task number 3 ay drawing nyo, dalawang triangle, MTB at triangle KLX na may mga markings base sa situation na nakasulat dito. Okay. So, finally, for your performance task, abstract. So, you're going to create an abstract art. No? Showcase your creativity by pasting several cutouts. So, maggugupit-gupit kayo ng iba-ibang laki, iba-ibang hugis, pero triangle pa rin. No? And then, you're going to paste those several congruent triangles on a bond paper. No? You're going to paste it and made your own design. A picture, an abstract form of art. No? So, do this in a short bond paper. Mas makulay, mas mabivisualize natin yung mga triangles. Be creative, no? Make it an abstract, no? And you can write a short explanation at the back of the bond paper. Kahit brief explanation lang regarding your abstract arts. Okay? And that is the end of our week number 3, the triangle congruence. I hope you learned a lot and you do your activity. So, thank you very much. God bless. Happy learnings, everyone!